So in this lecture, we're going to learn more about this user class, about how we can make new users, sign them in, sign them up, check to see if someone is logged in or not. We're going to need that for our app to know, what we need to show the user in the end. So let's go ahead and learn the basics, and then we'll start building our Instagram app. So let's go ahead and clear out enough space here. And one thing before we dive into the nitty gritty is I want to go over to the starter application.java. There's this line of code here that says parse user.enable automatic user. So this can be if you want to have an app that you don't have to require a login, but you still want to know some information about how people use the app, like get back analytics and whatnot. This automatic user, if you go back to the browser here, you can see there's been this user that's been created. They don't have an email or a username. They have a username, but it's just a random string of numbers. They don't have a password or anything like that. But this is created for us because we have that checked. So for our app, now that we're adding our own user login information, let's go ahead and comment that out. And then we're going to come back to our main activity and start writing some login code. So now that we're here, the first thing that we want to do is we want to create something called a parse user. So we're going to make a new parse user who we'll just call user, and this is just going to be equal to a new parse user. Now with this user, there's two main things that you have to set, and that's the username and password. So first, let's set the user.set username, and with this, go ahead and pick something. I might say something as simple as Nick. And then we're going to take our user and we need to set a password. So these are the two main things, a username and a password. So with a password, maybe we'll just go ahead and do something as simple as my pass with the capital P there. Then what we're going to do is, because we want to simulate first how to sign up a user, then we'll worry about the login stuff. Let's go ahead and do that. We're going to sign up a user. So we're going to say user.sign up, and there's all sorts of different options to sign up in background and whatnot. But let's go ahead and do this sign up in background that has a callback. So we're going to say new sign up callback and use the autocomplete there to get this. And then when it's finished, it will tell us whether or not that worked out. So we'll do our if statement with the the exception that comes through. So we'll say if this is equal to null, then we know that everything was okay. Else, this is where we do like an e.print stack trace. Okay. Now with this, let's go ahead and just give ourselves a simple log if everything did work out, and we'll just say something like sign up okay, and maybe something like we did it. All right. So with that in place, let's go ahead and run this. And again, if this works out, we should see a new user inside of the class here, this table that is going to have a username of Nick. So looks like we got things up and running. Let's check logcat here. It says we did it. So that should hopefully mean we're successful. Let's reload the page here and look at this. It says username Nick. The password is hidden. So I guess maybe that last user did have a password. It was just hidden there. But look at that, we were able to successfully create a user. Now you may be wondering, okay, let's say someone comes into our app and they want to log in. How do we handle that situation? Well, let's go ahead and comment this out. So we'll do /*// and let's write some login code. So the above stuff was for the sign up, but now let's do some login code. So it's quite similar, except we don't create a user object or anything first. We just go straight to the chase here, where we say parse user dot, and we do log in, and we want to do our log in background, but do the one where we can pass in a username and a password and then also a callback. So first let's pass in a username. So maybe let's do the one that we did earlier, Nick, and let's go ahead and provide a password, which we had as my pass. And then we also need to do a new login callback. So this will tell us whether or not it was able to work, and it also gives us this parse user, which is pretty great. So we're going to say if statement here, check and make sure we have a user. So if user is not equal to null, meaning we were able to successfully get back a user, then we can log out something that says success, like we logged in. All right, but else, if that doesn't work out, then we want to say something like e.print stack trace. We had some sort of error. So let's go ahead and try this. We should be able to see success if we use the correct name and password that we had set earlier here. So let's go ahead and get logcat up, and look at that, we logged in, so we know that that was successful. Well, let's say we go ahead and add a wrong password here, like I take one of the S's off of my pass. Well, now we should see an exception E do something like a print stack trace. So let's go ahead and try this out. And when we get this, boom, look at that. So invalid username / password. So we know that something went wrong there. Okay. Then finally, the last thing that we want to do, we'll go ahead and also comment this out, is we want to talk about how when we open the app, we don't want to log someone in, we don't want to sign them up, we just want to check and see if there's currently a logged in user. And Parse handles all the work. If somebody logs in, they'll stay logged in until you log them out. So we can simply just write an if statement where in our parentheses we say capital Parse user dot get current user, and we'll just see if this thing is equal to null, because if it's equal to null, we know that no one's logged in, but if it's not equal to null, that means we have a user that's logged in and we can move forward. So in fact, let's go ahead and log out something that says signed in, and what we're going to provide for the other string here is we're going to get this parse user dot get current user, and then we're going to say dot get username. So we're even going to print out what their username is. And if that doesn't work out, then we are going to display some sort of information here. And this might be the place where then you'd want to provide some code to say, hey, you weren't currently signed in, I should show the user the login functionality or the sign up functionality. So we'll say no luck, not signed in. All right. So let's go ahead and try this. Get logcat opened up here to check this out. So we should get a successful signed in and the username because we've logged in before. And if we go ahead and do this, let's see, look at that, signed in Nick. So that successfully worked. But now let's say you want to log out. How do you successfully log someone out of an app? Well, all you have to do is you just say capital parse user dot log out, and that's it. It's really that simple. So let's go ahead and run this. What should happen now is we'll log out. Then when we do this check, get current user will bring us back null, which then should bring the message to say no luck, or I guess I said not luck. But if we do this, look at that, not luck, not signed in. Okay. With your new skills of learning about the user, how to manipulate parse data, queries, all that good stuff, you are now ready to move forward on building the Instagram app. So let's go take a stab at it in the next lecture.